Big enough occasion.
Sounds good.
So what I would say is that, okay, the obvious fact is we're in the playoffs. We would have gotten in the playoffs, we would have backed in the playoffs. LAFC beat Minnesota. But what I want to say about the team is sometimes I say it in different ways or, different games or different circumstances. But grit, determination, never quit. They always seem to figure out ways how to be competitive. I mean, we don't win all of the games that we play, but they always put the effort in. They never quit. And I couldn't be happier for guys like Christian, who, has had a rough season, but he comes in and makes a good contribution. Jordan obviously was super excited about the birth of his son, and you saw the celebration there, so I'm happy for him and the whole Morris family, and Eliza too and her family. It's a good story. I'm happy for Josh Atencio, because I'm, seeing which one, Josh, Obed. Josh comes on the field and delivers in a critical moment. It's one of the reasons why he's on the field, because of his height, because of his athleticism, and he's able to flick the ball in the right spot. Christian reading the flick. I thought JP, Obed, they all put the work in. So that's a team win, and I'm happy for the group that we were able to put ourselves in the playoffs, not having us just kind of back our way in, because I think that group deserves every accolade, every positivity. There's been a lot of people that have said, well, the Sounders, haven't had a great season. Well, we're in second place. So, there you go.
All right, we'll open it up to questions, probably starting this side of the room first. Jose.
People talking about how it doesn't feel that way. Is that a byproduct of how high of an expectation you set within the club, and how you set an expectation for your players to also contribute to your efforts?
It's absolutely the expectations of this club. Absolutely. And I think the Sounder fans, they're an educated group. They understand when it's a good game, when it's a bad game. But they also have to understand that we don't always play well, but you can't ever fault the players' effort. You can't fault the effort. The players never quit. And that's something I'm very proud of. And so tonight's game, the first half was pretty good. Okay, pretty good. Maybe we should add another goal, maybe, 9 shots, whatever. They only had 1. Maybe the outcome should have been different in the first half, but it didn't happen. Second half, I thought LA, whatever Greg said worked, whatever I said didn't. They came out and were better than us. But we found a way to win. And that's what's important.
Jeremiah, we'll go your way next. Mike's right there over your left shoulder.
Yeah, you mentioned sort of the perception of this team. I guess the other part of that is it had been almost 3 months, it had been 3 months since you'd won at home.
Since July 1st.
How big of a deal was it just to sort of get that, to put that step in?
During this unbeaten run of 7 games, Jeremiah, there's positivity. Some of those wins were on the road. So I get it, I understand, and that's part of the frustration with the fans and why maybe the fans don't think we're, playing up to our potential. But the fact of the matter is this was a critical game. It sets us up for a critical match against Vancouver, because they're on a good run of form. And we'll see. We'll see how our last game of the year at home plays out. But this much I'm gonna tell you. The guys are gonna be ready. Whoever I put on the field, they're gonna bust their butts to try and make sure we have a good outcome. That I can guarantee you.
We'll take one more on this side, and then we'll go over to Chris. But down here first to Maz. Thanks for waiting patiently, Maz.
Brian, talking about competition, they're going back and forth in the starting lineup between Josh and Obed, yeah, and just how it's playing out and making for a competitive side, and just what you said, doesn't matter who you put out, they're gonna give the effort.
It makes a team better. What everybody has to understand, it's not an individual competition between certain players. It's competition, yes, it's pro sports, yes, but what it's doing is effectively making the team better, because the players are driving, they're playing against each other in training, trying to be the starter. it drives their individual development, which in turn helps them, both of them, when they step on the field.
Okay, Chris Egan next.
Can you just talk about Jordan and the dad strength we saw tonight? I mean, obviously his wife did a lot of the work there, but to have him on the field and what he did tonight for your team, just talk about his play.
Yeah, look, Chris, I had some reservations about taking him out. I thought maybe some of the emotions and the tiredness started to creep in. Obviously, it was an emotional time for him the last week. But there's good emotions and positive emotions, and you know, he's got a son and he's excited. So yes, you could see it in his play, and certainly again, the goal celebration. You know, the goal that he actually scored was the goal that he actually scored. He did score a goal. It was really good. I mean, he backed away, got in front of his defender, the snap header. It was a great ball by JP, but that was a well-crafted and from a technical standpoint, a really good header.
We'll come front row over to Nico Moreno next.
Just wanted to get your take on your two first substitutions. You bring in Reed, you bring in Nico. Just kind of how that played out. What was the thought process?
Yeah, Albert was coming off an illness. Nico was fresh legs, ready to play. Leo Chu, you know, was effective in moments in the first half, but I thought Reed could give us a little bit of boost of energy. I needed Reed to use his long legs, his God-given talent of getting up and down the field. I thought we needed a two-way player out there because LA had parts of the game. So I thought both of them came on and did a good job.
We'll go over to Nico and here. Since we're in the front row, go ahead.
Could you talk about Fry's performance and his contribution to the win tonight?
Yeah, as always, that's an easy question. Thank you for that. I love talking about Steph Fry. Big saves in critical moments, calm. We're getting better playing out of the back. We've worked on that. I think that's going to be something, again, after the Vancouver game, during the break, in the build-up to the playoffs. I think that's one area where we need to do a little bit better job. Sometimes we play a little negative. The ball ends up at Steph's feet, when we should have been playing forward passes. And how do we help Steph? How do we give him options? I think that's one of the areas of, in the team tactics that we got to do better. But he does what he's paid to do, which is keep the ball out of the back of the net.
All right, we'll go to Zoom next. I know there are some people still have questions in here. We'll get to you, no worries. For Zoom, I'm just seeing the one hand. If you have another question.
Tell me a little bit about the importance of Christian Roldan for this team. More specifically, the minutes that he's played since the injury, scoring 2 goals, providing assists, energizing the group. Tell us about that importance for the team.
He said it the other day at training, Felipe, I think you were there. It's like he feels like a new player, like it's a new player for the team. I certainly tend to agree. He does a lot of little things, he does a lot of big things. He's been a critical part of the narrative of what was wrong in the middle part of the year. I think we missed his ability to balance the team, the attacking and the defending, and just getting the balance right. So, tonight was icing on the cake. He scored the winning goal.
What in particular did you see them do well that helped them limit opportunities today?
Well, they've been pretty steady all year long. I'm blessed with, good center backs. You got to throw Javi in the mix too because he's chomping at the bit to play. He's done well for this club. Billy Sharp is a quality player. I actually enjoyed watching him play. Look, he's an experienced guy, but he certainly is a good pickup for them. Costa, yes, his goal. I thought Costa's play was very good today. So give them some credit. I think they had come back and got points 4 out of their last 7 games, some stat like that. So it wasn't an easy game, but it's not just Yaimar and Jackson and Steph. The expectations are the defending actually starts up front. And so Jordan and Albert and Leo and Christian in the first half, early in the first half. Our pressure was good. We were on top of them early. And I think that always helps the back line. If your forwards are pressing effectively, then it makes those guys' job a lot easier.
Okay, other hands here. Yeah, Maz, we'll go your way next, then Diego will come to you.
Early on at the 14, 17-minute mark, his ability to help pass the ball out, and then obviously his going up into the offensive end ends up in obviously the throw to the goal. What can you talk about the way he's been playing on the defensive end, and then obviously in transition and then the low?
Alex had a breakout season in 21, I think it was. He's a quality player. You know, again, kudos to my good friend Pete Fewing in Seattle University. He had a good career. Maybe he was playing under the shadow of his brother. There were lots of reasons why he is who he is today. But Alex is quality. And the throw-in was probably the easiest part of his game. What I liked was, you know, there in the second half, I'm sure you caught it, Maz. Alex went inside and Christian came outside. And that's a little different wrinkle that those two guys had, and I thought that was effective for us. So overall, a good performance by Alex.
Diego.
Buenas noches.
And not just
You went to the national team and the performance was not that great, so tell us about that. The second question, it seems that we keep seeing this theme of the team going ahead, being in a winning position, but then for some reason end up with ties or losses. Is it a matter of concentration? Is it a matter of physical condition? Tell us a little bit about it.
So Raul has a sore back. He's going to be fine. That's the easy question. The challenging question is yes, because I think I've talked about it up here before. What do we do when we get ahead of teams? You know, we've had a couple of 2-1 score lines or 2-0 score lines, and you know, Colorado comes back, makes the game challenging. That's always hard. It's a fair question. We try and work on that. We try and message that. How do you close out games? Through more possession, through better defending. You know, it's something that's hard. Usually what happens is human nature affects you a little bit, and then the other team, your opponent, doesn't want to lose, so they put a little bit more effort into the game. But we do need to do a better job of making sure we close out games, because that's important if you want to win a championship.
Sort of give some reasons why.
Let's wait until we see how the Western Conference shakes up. I don't know if I have any favorites or non-favorites who we're going to play. Obviously, if it was a best-of-3 series against Portland, that would be interesting because it's the first time we have the new playoff format. That might get a little heated, but let's just wait and see.